And JYD, he was in Calgary as Sylvester Ritter. We found him, brought him here. I saw his charisma, I named him, gave him his music and did everything, and he was so dynamite. He wasn't a good worker, he was terrible. Matter of fact, funny thing, Ernie Ladd was, then by that time, we got him going and we were selling out everywhere, but Ernie Ladd was having a big influence here, and Ernie one night said, I've got your new star, and he can't handle it. We put him with Scott Irwin, and Scott ran him ragged and his tongue was hanging out. He just can't compete. And I didn't understand Ernie completely, but Ernie was the greatest human being in my life, because Ernie, not only as a person, as an athlete, but as a fabulous human being, Ernie taught me about black. And all the things I was trying to learn at that time, a white man can never learn black.
Right.
Because we don't ever have to go through it, we can only observe it. So I learned so much from Ernie Ladd, and he had such a great heart, but he didn't want a black man to fail. So he was afraid JYD would fail. I fired Ernie for what he'd done to JYD that night with Scott Irwin. And Ernie got the message, and it never happened again. And of course, the rest is history. JYD became the biggest star I'd had. Ernie Ladd was one of the biggest stars I ever had. And you know, the sad thing on the aside, that when JY went to New York, and of course later got his problems with substance abuse that he never overcame, it was a bad parting for he and I. But I think when he died, and Buddy Landell asked me to write a eulogy for him, which I did, and I sat down, as I wrote it, I started crying, because I realized I never got to tell him how much I loved him. That the period of time I was around him, he was such a dynamite human being. The fact of how we ended our relationship was not near as important as the time we spent together. Right. I think I was starting to value life differently. And it was such a waste of time that this man that was so brilliant and JYD was a neat, special person. And then you also see the terrible battle that's fought when guys get something that gets a hold of them that they can't whip. And so that was a great loss and that's when I think I've started realizing the difference in some of the relationships I had over the years, because when you were in the business with your nose to the grindstone, you took things for granted, or you didn't have time to really look at the depth of what the relationship was. And so JYD is special, and that's why. But Ernie Ladd I knew was special.